Hello and welcome to this episode of Point Counterpoint. We are back here to discuss yet another issue which is like a virus eaten into the very pore of Goa's democracy, its politics and its governance as well. We are talking about defections. Less than a week ago, a disqualification petition moved by Dominic Norona, who's one of the panelists here, as a citizen against these 8 defectors of the Congress was kind of decided, and the petition was dismissed, which brings us to the topic of today, and it's an undergoing topic. The point here is defectors in Goa have killed democracy. But if that is so, why are they not getting punished? Why do they again and again get away by defying the people's mandate, betraying them, taking pledges in temples and churches and then turning around and say, I have a connection with God? Now the issue is, this is very well known and settled that this is the way Goa has been for a very, very long time, and we'll get into it. But today, all that we need to figure out is that why do they get away again and again? Why do they not fear the wrath of the people? And most importantly, why are people as well as the parties that suffer defections as quiet as we see them now? Without much ado, I'll just introduce the panelists. We have Sunil Kautankar, the very dynamic Vice President of the JPCC. Dominic Norona is the petitioner. He's from Valley, but he was probably one of the first people in India to approach the speaker as a citizen and say, look, I am a voter and I have a local stand-I, and I want these people to be disqualified because they betrayed us. And Trajan de Mello, of course, is an absolute veteran. He has been there and done that, been an architect of many of these movements that we are talking about. But of course, his heart lies in Goa and what is happening here. Sribab, I'll start with you. It's just that Congress, of course, is a party that probably has suffered defections more than other parties, and it keeps on happening to you. I mean, it happened twice in 2 years recently, under the last two governments, in the last two terms. Then, of course, the Congress has again suffered this. Various chief ministers have been toppled. Sardin, Louisine and others, of course, in very different avatars, but by and large they were congressmen. The point here is, when this continues to happen, why is the Congress not strong enough or so weak to ensure that this does not happen? And every time one can't blame them, say that other party gives money, other party gives this and all that. Why can't Congress keep its flock together? Secondly, the issue is, why do some of these people get away from the Congress and yet continue to win? Digambar Kamath, Vishwajit Rane, Movin Gudino, from the old line of defectors.
See, if you see at the history of defection, I think rather than saying that Congress has suffered due to the defection, I believe that Goa has suffered more due to the defection. Sure. Definitely, we faced the defections. We had in the recent times, we had a defection of 10 MLAs from the 2017 batch. Right. And then again we had a defection of MLAs. Correct. From the 2022 batch of 8 MLAs. Right. And if you see that both the time, during the first defection, there out of the 10, 7 lost the elections very miserably. And 3 won. Out of that, Babush, Jennifer and Nilkant Dharankar. And looking at the trend, I believe that the people of Goa had rejected them. People of Goa had rejected the defection. And Congress definitely had promised that, yes, we will avoid defection. And at the most, looking at the scenario, the representation, especially the legal point for this defection part is concerned, the Representations of People's Act, I believe whatever we could do, we have done. And as far as the public representatives are concerned, ultimately they have to go more than the court of law. They have to go before the court of people. And we went with a promise. We had the pledge and everything. They pledged even before the religious institutions. They pledged before the constitution. Despite of that, they defected. And I believe it is actually the responsibility of the people to show all the defectors the door.
But Sunil, the point is, Congress has also accepted defectors. My issue is, before the election, you had Michael Lobo and his wife very much there. You had other people who had come in from other parties. It is not that Congress is holier than thou and it does not accept. You all accepted because you all wanted people, strong, quote unquote, strong leaders in different constituencies to literally outsource those constituencies. I mean, in the sense that we all felt, Michael Lobo is there, Michael Lobo, Delilah Lobo, Kedar Naik, they would ensure that that part is taken care of. So at the end of the day, the Congress also has kind of, what has now happened is right now all these have become fiefdoms, and you all ultimately do a contract with the chief of that fiefdom to deliver seats. So if that is the formula, then defections will always
see, when we speak about defections are of two types. Defections by the elected representatives who are elected on one party, and then they get elected seeking votes on one party's platform or one party symbol, and then they defect without asking their voters, because there is no mechanism wherein you can go back to the people, you can ask your voters, because the MLA won't even know who has voted for him technically. So, and defecting then completely murdering the public mandate. And second part of defection we can say is the people who have changed the parties, means they have quit, resigned from the parties, resigned as a MLA, and then joined some other party and faced election, face the electorate. In this kind of circumstances, as I'm coming repeating myself again, that in politics and in this social fragmenting whatever we see, what is more concerning is that these people are more than the court of law. It is the court of people that matters, because when you change your party and when you join some other party and when you go before the people, you definitely have to make yourself clear. You have to place your agenda, your reasons for quitting, and what you are going to do next. And then if the people accept you, that is what is totally up to the people.
Again, he mentioned court of the people. See, ultimately, the court of the people is the most important court.
Yes.
But what if the court of the people itself is getting tainted? In the sense that it's very important to look at people themselves. My point is, if you look at in the last elections, you had mass scale defections even from constituencies like Nuwe, for instance. Okay. Now these are heart of Salset, where a minority MLA is defecting to the BJP. This has happened all along. Minority MLAs have defected and moved ahead. Now the point here is that after these things have happened, there was no public outburst. That is where the shocker is.
Exactly. That
people move from parties to parties. Look at Babush Monserrat and co. They have switched so many parties. So there is no public outburst against the current MLA, and this is where the concern is. You can shout, you can abuse parties, you can do all this till the cows come home, but ultimately the people have become either silent spectators, willingly or unwillingly, to this menace.
I fully agree with you on this.
Sir.
See, the problem is starting right from the parties that give tickets.
Yes.
Okay. Parties that give tickets don't decide on the merits of whether this is potentially a good leader.
Right.
It is on your personal capacity that tickets have been decided. If you look at all these elections, how they have been deciding on tickets, that is one part. Then the voters come into role.
Correct.
Where the voters vote for various reasons. Most of the reasons being personal.
Correct.
If the personal gain from their potential leaders is seen with the voter, then their vote is for them. Now when you win by a majority, say let's take an example, you win by 13,000 or 12,000 votes. If that type of a leader has defected, why there have not been even 2,000 people with civic unrest questioning their leaders?
Correct.
So this is what is missing. Civic unrest among society also has led to this disaster. The moment there is civic unrest, not I would not talk about civic unrest, disobedient civic unrest. If you have been a genuine voter associated with that concerned party who has been elected, then it is that voter's duty to go back and ask, why have you defected when I voted for this party?
Is this because people are doing deals with politicians?
Yes.
They are not voting because of ideology?
It's
become a deal relationship.
It is exactly a deal relationship. Everything is personal agenda. If I have a personal cause that is being taken care of, then that vote will be for you.
Correct.
That is the kind of politics that is being playing across Goa, and if we need to survive with good leadership, the parties also have to renew their way of choosing leaders. They need to correct their ways.
Correct.
And the voters will also have to see politics at a broader angle, where there are legislators that legislate for them and not serve their personal needs.
President Babu, see, from 1992 to 2002, Goa had 13 chief ministers in 3 assemblies. Okay. And and these defections happened. Defections took place 21 times during this time, and you are well aware of this. And the total number of defectors was 80. However, the number of people who got disqualified in Goa, number of MLAs who got disqualified in Goa out of these, of course, 80 is only at this period. Total number of defectors in Goa would go up to 120 or 150. Ratnakar Chopdekar, Sanjay Bandekar, and Luis Prot Barbosa are the only 3 MLAs ever in the history of Goa who got defected out of the 150. Now, the point.
Disqualified.
Only 3 who got disqualified out of the 100. I mean,
Right.
80. I'm telling you about 80, but I'm sure the
Three
total
got
defections,
disqualified.
total defections would have gone about. So, I'm just saying, this is where we lie. That in the history of defections, only 3 have ever got disqualified. Now, what is the reason for it? And B, this is an old story. It is not a new story. So, when will this story end?
See, there are 2 things. In the beginning, we started by saying that Congress suffered. He said Goa suffered.
Right.
Who is the cause of creating this disease? It's the Congress itself. The Congress every time came to power by finishing the MGP. The MGP was every time. See, and you must keep into mind that when the defection, as he said, in 2022, it was very clear, just like Haryana, the Mughal was in favor of Congress. But it became very public. As he said, you also said that deals were done. Very, and admitted also in the PCC. Agner Parent is there, we questioned. Yes, money is being taken. Now, you tell me one thing. When he said the tickets are not given on criteria, on credit of the personality, but depend on because of certain considerations. And from a Mughal, you come down to 11. Okay, what message have you given the voter?
But remember, all parties have been responsible. Congress may have been, because Congress has been in power for a very long time. But everybody has been responsible in splitting.
I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say, it all originated. And remember one thing, that no defection takes place if that particular parent party who's taking or breaking the one is not at the center. So everything is controlled at the, there is no defection that has taken place. If suppose BJP is at the center, Congress cannot break anybody and bring it to center.
Right, correct.
Similarly, vice versa. So everything stands there. Now the question what we are trying to make is, the credibility of the party depends on the leader of the party. The one who is distributing the tickets. When it becomes totally public that everything is happening because of money, which has happened last time, your stature comes to 11.
So, a quick response to this.
See, it will be inappropriate if I discuss on the party ticket distribution system and everything in a public debate, because those are the subjects which we need to discuss within the 4 walls of the party, because it's an organizational matter. Definitely, yes, we must have fallen short somewhere, because I will completely not deny that mistakes have not been made, and it is a responsibility of the organization to improve and move ahead. But as far as the blatant responsibility on the Congress is concerned, and putting Congress in the accused box as far as defection is concerned, is like you are putting the victim of a house theft in the accused box, completely giving a clean sheet to the thief himself. Because in this debate actually today, what is would have been very important if there was a BJP representative, because more than Congress, they are answerable for the defection, because they are the direct beneficiary of the defection. We are actually on the victim side of the defections.
No, that is fine. See, also the
One more thing I would point out. See, people are not fools in Goa. People are very intelligent. You pointed out they went to the temples, promised and all that.
Correct.
Apart from that, the leadership of the Congress, who came here supposed to, what do you call that, strategize, the top man. You had a legal luminary along with him from Goa who got a ticket also. Telling everybody there is no problem, now we have got an affidavit. Now everybody in Goa understood that this affidavit is a piece of paper, doesn't stand in any court of law. Now when you start cheating the people as a leader, that I have got this safeguard, which is not even a piece of paper worth throwing in the ground, what do you expect people to respond to you?
So, you know, one question which stems from what he's saying and otherwise. See, the thing is, any party becomes a very easy prey to be used as a puppet if the party itself is weak from within.
True.
The point is, you know, whether it is Congress or any other party. See, the point is, in the last election, whether it is 2017 or 2022, the party was used. And I would even go as far as to say it was perhaps used and misused by people within the party. That's a comment I'm making. It you know, subject to discussion and debate. The point here is when that really happens, then it becomes very easy for people to, because what happens is, if there's a low hanging fruit from a very weak tree, anybody will go and pluck it. And this is where the issue is. Now,
You don't have to pluck it, falls out.
it falls. If you look at, between 2017, there is no doubt that the Congress was knocking on the doors of Raj Bhavan to form a government. They were pulled back from the doors of Raj Bhavan, figuratively and really also. Okay, and the entire scenario changed. In 2022, also with a little bit of push and proper ticket distribution, things would have happened. So all this is one. This is your quick response, and then my next question is, you can handle both before I come to Dominic. But post all these things, my point is, what are the mechanisms that the party has taken? And I would have asked others also if they were there, but any party takes, but in your case, your party has taken, to ensure that the tree is made so strong and the roots are made so strong that you don't have these fruits of defection falling into the laps of other parties.
See, as far as the 2017 incident is concerned, if Congress going to almost to the doors of the Raj Bhavan and knocking to form the government and not being able to form the government, and the scenarios that unfolded over there and the multi-level reasons they were there, because there were n number of reasons, the alliances, the chief ministerial choice, and several choices. Many of them are not even part of the Congress party today. The blame till date has to be borne by the Congress party. So there is their story, there is our story, and there is the real story. So let us, going there into that is pointless, because those people right now don't exist anymore as far as Congress is concerned. Now, as far as the mechanism, what you have asked me, if I think going by the Representations of People Act and the law on which the political party functions and on which the elections are held, on which the defections are challenged, I guess there is a lacuna in the entire system. There is a big loophole which is being misused, and it is being misused multiple times, and till date there is no clear solution. It is the people who can only give a good solution to that, and if there is some concrete foolproof solution, definitely Congress party will adopt it. And as far as Congress party stand on defection is concerned, if you can see, the only foolproof thing that we could have done last time and that we did in 2022 election is that we didn't give a ticket to a single defector as promised to the people. Even so many defector out of those 10, and especially those who have not dare, they were desperate to come back to the Congress and contest on Congress ticket, but we took a very strong stand. It was the in principle decision that no defector will be given re-entry and given a ticket, and we stood by that. But despite of that, what we saw is the people who won on the defection plank, they themselves defected.
Correct.
So it is a very catch-20 situation for both us as well as the Congress as a political party, as well as the voters of Goa. And for that, I will be very frank with you. As far as now, there is no such foolproof mechanism, because it's ultimately what best we can do is we can give good people with morals, integrity. At the same time, we have to see whether the person is going to win the election. Winnability cannot be the entire criteria. That some morality, everything has to be there.
Do you also agree that even as we speak today, far from strengthening the party, strengthening the blocks, within your party, there are forces who are trying to undermine each other, talking to different political parties, cutting the party from side, having hush-hush meetings to bring down certain people? Or the point here is that these things are going on, don't you agree?
See, in every political party, it is a political party. It is not a circus.
Right.
There are going to be such things what we have mentioned right now. It is whichever party you see in the ruling party also today, the chief minister is being trying to be pulled by several ministers trying to be the chief minister.
Yeah, I agree. These things
so in political, any political survey, it will be in your media. This scenario will very much exist in your media also. There will be people who will try to take your chair, or there will be.
But we are not public representatives.
That is what I am trying to tell. That in any organization, whether it is political, non-political, or any organization, there has to, this is but natural that there are going to be competition, there are going to be different alignments and different possibilities, permutations and combination. That is but natural. It's a political party. But at the same time, I can you can rest assured, and I can assure you as a vice president of Congress party, that we are trying our best to avoid this kind of situation next time, so that people are not in trouble.
Coming to, thank you, sir. Coming to one important part, Dominic, is one of the core essence of what we are discussing today. See, there are so many good NGOs, there are public spirited people, there are people fighting for various causes on the streets of Goa, criticizing the government for so many issues. But the point is, what one issue that we don't see, or one aspect that is never raised, is people essentially saying is, we will start a full-fledged people's movement against defection, and we will ensure that the point is, when we know that a particular person is suspicious, we will reject that person outright, and if somebody rejects, we will start a full movement to ensure that we bring about a legislation. Of course, we can't do it here, it has to be done by Parliament, but at least let Goa lead the way to see that as soon as have a law where as soon as a person resigns from a particular party, the person gets disqualified immediately for 6 years. My issue is that why is this people's movement not gathering towards that? Otherwise, unless you do that, any political formation will break parties. Even if there are 21 members, they'll become 31 to 35, and with a brute majority do what they want.
See, the problem is that issues of the state being dealt by various sections of society are divided.
Right.
Everyone has their own sections of what. But when it came to the defection part of legislators moving sides and all, this has not brought unrest among united voters.
Exactly.
It has not brought unrest.
Correct.
If you see, I seen that various activities were carried out in the last term of defection, where cakes were taken to people's houses and all that. But were those movements united by the voters of that particular constituency, which is not the case.
Right. Correct.
It should be the constituency that did that act, not some Congress workers from either parts of the state that come together, and you can build numbers from across the state very easily.
Right.
But where were the numbers from that constituency?
Right.
So
Right.
that is not happening.
Right.
So unless that happens, in this case now where this defection goes forward, if there were several petitions filed, for instance,
Right.
that shows that no one is interested.
Right.
When the defection takes place, they will wait to give verdict for the next election. So till we have unrest among ourselves for the wrongdoings of leaders that take us for a ride, changes are less expected. So we need to wake up. We need to wake up. We need to unite in a spirited mind. I take your suggestion. We should try and look forward for a way where if such things happen, that we stand up and we act against this. And we should impress upon parties, political parties who are interested on taking a change in the legislation at the center. Because this change has to come at the center.
Correct, absolutely. Pradhan, see, while we are talking, and these are very important points that we are raising, but we are also acutely aware as very practical people, the despondency and dejection that we all have internally, saying that look, these are very good things to do, but nobody seems to be very confident it will be done. Primarily because our politics and polity has got
politics
so diseased.
has reached a point
Yes.
where people has lost trust in every leader. I would say every human being. Because they say, in Konkani what they say, this boy, and it has happened.
Correct.
And proved.
Right.
They have taken, as you have pointed out, certain people this last time.
Right.
Hardly 1 month past, the whole went that side.
Correct.
So, and that was when matters were raised.
Correct.
You see.
And defections are not only happening in the assembly. Defections are happening in municipalities, panchayats,
everywhere. Therefore, I told you,
Yeah.
if you have only a government at the center, you can change here. Otherwise, nothing can change. In a similar way, when the government is in power here, he is playing the Ringa Roji with the panchayats and the municipalities. But the basic trust of a voter on a leader is zero.
Irrespective of which party from
Irrespective, because all have proved to be the same, or one worse than the other.
Correct.
You only have to give them a certificate, how many marks it is. That's it. They have lost, I'm telling you, when you go to the ground. We move to the ground. Now he talks about our Congress party. You see, the heart of Congress, which was supposed to be Salsed, 2 seats are already with the AAP. One is with Goa forward. Where the Congress is going to strengthen, where they lost with over 1.5 lakh votes in the north. So where are we? At the end of the day, I say we because I believe like I'm a part of the system. We are on this side, whether you like it or not. So where are we going? What are we? Why are we fooling ourselves? Just imagine the heart of Congress. There are 3 states already gone.
Correct.
Suppose you have to go with an alliance. I believe that without an alliance, nothing will work out. So those 3 states out. Then where you are?
Correct.
Let's be very clear.
Alliance is the only solution.
So the only solution, because we are groping in the dark, everybody else. What has the Congress done in the last 3 years to try and at least tap new leadership? The point is, at least there will be hope that if you pick up pick up people from colleges, young people, young professionals, academics, other people who want to get into politics, get good people. Has there been any sitting? Has your state committee and other people even met to even deliberate on strengthening this and at least getting new faces? And see, already 2 years have gone since the elections have passed. You have another 2 to 3 years left. My point is, if you don't build up leadership now, ultimately it'll all boil down to giving your ticket in the last 50 hours. It all boils down to that, and the entire that constituency is noticed only for those 15-20 days of campaign.
He is a part of the deliberation, but nobody is listening. That's the problem.
No. The shocking part is, where is the deliberation? Ask him how many times the state executive committee has met in the last 1 year.
No, but then he is having his own
for the record, give us an answer.
For the record, I cannot give the answer because for the record, that answer has been already given to the party high command, and everybody is working on that. And I am pretty sure. Then I can assure you that in the coming times, it is our focus to build our organization from the youth, from the students who are there in the party. We have good students. We have good guys in Youth Congress. We have good guys in NSUI. In fact, we were very surprised to see the response that the Congress was getting in the university elections and the college elections, and especially the youth who have joined us recently.
Right.
But it is our responsibility to groom them and make them into leaders. It is our responsibility to groom them, make them understand the ideology of the party, as well as far as the defection party is concerned. As I have told you earlier also, yes, we need to sit, we need to have a proper, chalk out a proper plan, and we have to see that these things don't repeat in future, because as far as legality of it is concerned, definitely tomorrow again if somebody defects, we can only, what we can do is file a petition, challenge it. Then you know what the speaker does. Recently its example was
that is another point. I'm coming
till the time that law is not amended from the center, wherein a person elected representative resigns, he gets disqualified there and then, and he should not be allowed to contest election for next 2 years.
Absolutely.
Unless then, okay, if that happens, there will be no defection, because then nobody wants to get elected and get defected,
come back to election.
Get disqualified.
My point is, again, this whole issue of the disqualification petition being heard by a speaker who himself is very much a part of a political party and probably kind of has a vested interest. I'm not saying this speaker or that speaker, but some speakers may have a vested interest in ensuring that the strength of his party only goes up.
No, I will be more specific to it. See, the speaker is in the line to become the chief minister.
Correct.
Can he what you say sabotage his own cause?
Right.
If he disqualifies these MLAs, if he disqualifies 8, he has to disqualify the previous 3 from the previous lot. So 8 plus 3, 11 MLAs. He is sabotaging his own cause to become the chief minister. So you can not even expect anything, but as a procedure, as a part of the procedure, you have to do it.
A member of the party who has joined the party.
Correct.
See, the question is, the speaker at one point
of time. But the intention of Congress party, it is not that we have just placed it before the speaker. We have been very serious. We have even gone to the highest court of law to challenge this disqualification. We have not just put it before the speaker and left it
as a member of civic society, you must stand up for your
which you have done.
Yes, and it is important to do so, because everyone thinks they can get away with all the wrong.
Okay, last words.
The speaker, when we remember, at least on paper, the day he became the speaker, he used to become non-partisan immediately.
Correct.
That also tradition has been gone down the drain. At least on paper it should be. Now these speakers are attending the party's meetings.
Correct.
So if they attend the party meeting, how are you going to weaken his own one party?
Correct.
What they have taken is taken for the benefit of everybody. If the numbers become less, he will not remain a speaker. Forget become the chief minister.
See, it's an unfortunate and a sad story, and as we end, let us at least accept one thing very clearly, is that the political murderers of democracy are not being called out as murderers by the people.
Who is the murderer? Everybody is the murderer.
The issue here is that,
the voter is black.
As they say in Hindi, Hamam mein sab nange hain. Everybody is naked in the bathhouse. Now, with this kind of situation, we can only kind of beat our heads unless there is some kind of a revolution that happens, with a democratic revolution that people want, and in addition to all the causes that they are fighting for, I think the next big revolution has to be a complete cleanup of democracy and make it totally bereft of this word called defections. Thank you very much to all our panelists for giving their valuable time and insights into this discussion.